Hey, this is Azbolg, and this is a game called Empires of the Undergrowth. It's about developing an ant colony, and it's kind of like this older game I played called Cement way back in the day. But if you like sort of developing an insect empire, those empire building games, this is sort of a different take on that genre. You have an immobile queen, and then you build out these chambers, and to kind of describe the game and just sort of if you're stuck a little bit, I just beat the first level of this. So first of all, you're going to start with your queen, and then you can have a limited amount of space you can build out with, which is represented by this tunnel thing right here. Then you have something called royal jelly, which you get by completing the missions. And then you actually have food storages. And then you have populations, but you have a max population here. Now, this game is a little strange because you actually have this thing called the Fulcarium or whatever. It's your ant colony, and I think you play sort of the history of this ant queen here, the Fucosa ant colony or whatever. And you might be stuck because you're like, okay, well, first of all, we go up to upper left here. We have this DNA thing, and it says this is actually the tech tree. It's really basic, but you have these things, and you should try to look around a little bit and just see like, hey, wow, these things are pretty cool, and you can kind of like develop them. So here's just sort of the basic thing here. You have these, you have a gene thief worker, which is just the worker ant, and then you have the black ant, which is the soldier ant. And then of course you have 3 tiers of those ants, and you can upgrade them. The first thing I did is I just upgraded them because it costs like 10 or 20 royal jelly. How do you get the royal jelly to actually even develop and build those ants? And how do you actually build and develop this Fusca colony up a little bit? Well, you go to this thing right below over here on the upper left hand corner called level selection. And then you go to, you don't want to do the challenge yet. You really want to complete both of these challenges first, just to understand the game a little more. It's a little basic, like you're in a tree right here and you're doing it, and you're going around in your tree and destroying little other insects and collecting things. And the second one, you're actually fighting a rival colony, and you just kind of go around it, and you overwhelm the little spiders in the colony, and you're able to do it. And when you do those missions, you can select one of 3 rewards, and I would select the extra jelly. Now you're like, man, where's the food going? Like, I can't develop my colony. I was kind of stuck on that as well. Well, you don't want to start the mission because you're like, man, I don't have any ants or whatever, right? At the top area, there's actually a lock. You actually just click that lock, and it actually unlocks the outside. And this is the outside, right? So now we're on the outside of the Fulcarium or whatever, this scientific experiment by this evil doctor who's trying to send punishing ants after you or whatever, right? And you'll see little bits of food around, and then you just send out your ant workers just like you would in the other missions, and they'll go out and collect it and bring it back, and there you go. Now you can build up your ants, and you can kind of play the game as normal. So that's just sort of the general tips. How to beat the first mission is actually you want to get the max population, which is 50, I believe, to start with. I actually you can build out a lot of soldier ants, and you want to get them all, the soldier ants, to tier 3, and then it becomes really easy. The last wave is just a consistent wave of ants, and you're going to fight a couple giant insects, and you just plop them right up here, and it'll be a little challenging. They'll respawn. You're going to have some food storage. You want to have about a 500 food storage, which shouldn't be a problem because you've collected all the food before they've selected the challenge to begin, and then you can beat the challenge. Hope this helped you out, and hopefully it didn't ruin too much. You can see I have my food storage here. It's totally full. So, and then when you beat the challenge, your population doubles, so I can build more ants. I'm going to actually kind of play through some of the other missions, which I'll be posting on the YouTube channel here. We can kind of take a look. This game's pretty interesting. It's not a game for everyone. The graphics are pretty cool inside of this. I think they're pretty decent, as you can tell. But the game can be a little confusing since it's also an early access game right now. It can be a little hard to understand and what to do. One last thing I'll talk about is you have these little designated zones. You just simply you build these little node areas, what I want to call. So like these are the black ants. So I've selected as one. If I hit the number 1 key, it'll actually select those ants. I could actually click and drop and drag those into another pool of ants if I wanted to. Then I have my worker ants to go and collect the food at number 5. So when I'm playing and I'll have my maybe 2 sets of ants, I haven't really seen the major purpose, but then you can select it even more, saying like, hey, I want you just to guard. If you want some ants, just guard. Remember the soldier ants can actually go out and pick up stuff as well. So get your stuff to all tier 3 and then enjoy the game. This is Azbolg signing off. Hope you enjoyed this little video.